Hey friends, welcome back, Project RV, part 2 of our Outer Banks adventures. Last week we showed you some more primitive boondocking camping down in the Cape Hatteras National Seashore.
This week we're getting a little less primitive and going further north near the areas of Kildeville Hill, Kitty Hawk, Duck, and Corolla.
I feel like we've got some good info cooking here, so make sure you check out last week's episode, and hopefully we can finish this thing out being good Outer Banks tour guides for you. At least best we can do.
You see how flat our tires are? North Carolina. Virginia? North Carolina.
I don't know if it's a horse track. I bet those Wright brothers were in shape. Got massive calves. Go, go, go! The final landing spot. Really does kind of feel like a different planet out here. Oh my God, it's attacking me. It's attacking me.
It's aggressive.
Are you a donut fan? Well, we've actually got a pretty short drive on our hands today. It's about 25 minutes up to OBX Campground. And there's a very specific reason we wanted to stay there. A, it's highly recommended, but B, it's very close to the Wright Brothers Memorial. As North Carolinians, I feel like this is something that we should probably see.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know, we are pretty proud of being first in flight. I mean, look at our license plates, our licenses, our state quarter, our state slogan. It's ridiculous.
I'd say so far, these Outer Banks adventures have been fairly cost effective. Been saving quite a bit of money because the campground was fairly cheap and all the activities we've done have either been free or inexpensive.
Yeah, really the most money that we spent was the day that it was raining and we went to the aquarium. Otherwise, we just kind of chose to treat ourselves to some meals here and there, but...
Yeah, not too bad.
Go into a more populated area and a little bit nicer RV park means that we're gonna spend a little bit more money. One night there at the OBX Campground that we're gonna stay at is equal to, I think, maybe 2 nights at the other campground, and if it was summer months, it would be closer to 4 nights at the other campground.
Well, Joanna, the person running OBX Campground, is super nice.
Super nice.
And it looks like we have plenty of space to ourselves around here. But she did say, be careful, starting in April, it's not going to be like this. And it'll be completely packed out. So.
And prices pick up.
Yep, so we're a few weeks before that. All right, waterfront spot, but it does look like that all the sites here at the campground are back in. Boss parking job as always.
Thanks, mate.
You're welcome.
It does help when no one's around to judge your parking, whether good or bad. There is no pressure here.
Yeah, but even if there are people watching, make sure you take your time. They understand. They're in the same position. But sometimes, you know, you're like, oh, stop watching me.
Yeah. Someone left their shoe. Makes sense, it was camouflage, so they couldn't see it.
All right, Barley Girl. A new environment, hopefully free of sand spurs for you. I know your little feetsies will appreciate that. Got a cool little dock here.
This is nice.
Simply due to location, I see why this is quite a popular campground once it gets a little bit warmer here.
And we are lucky enough to be here at a time where we scored waterfront property.
Visitor Center is straight ahead.
Okay.
We do have a 3 o'clock ranger talk on the patio, and we close promptly at 5.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. National Park Pass will get you into the Wright Brothers Memorial, so that's a bonus for us. I can't think of how many dollars we've saved, you know, in the last couple of years by having one of these and how many parks we've been to.
We should add it up someday.
We should. If you don't have one, however, it's gonna be $10 a person, I believe.
Because the Wright brothers were from Dayton, Ohio, you can actually put a stamp in both the Southeast region and the Midwest. I'm scared enough of planes, I don't need you piloting it. This is only a replica of the original glider that they used. The original, I believe, is in the National... What?
Space and Science Museum?
That's it.
That's it. Gotta say, visitor center, super informative. And I guess it goes to show, if at first you don't succeed, keep on trying, because those dudes failed a whole lot before their first like legit flight in 1903. On that cold and windy day here in Kill Devil Hills, they actually had 4 successful flights. The shortest one, first one, was 12 seconds for 120 feet.
And that one was by Orville.
Yeah.
The longest one was by Wilbur, and it was 852 feet. So they improved greatly throughout the day.
Yeah.
The way they decided who was going to take the first flight was flipping a coin.
We do rock, paper, scissors for decisions like that, but love that.
Yeah, so Wilbur actually won and then tried to take his first flight, but failed. Then Orville took his first flight and it was successful.
The distance jump between the first and third flight, not that much, but this fourth flight, it's a bit of a hike.
Seems that I'm not the only one that has anxiety about being on planes. And what's funny is that their father made them promise that they would never get on the same plane together because he was afraid that they would die together in a crash.
Yeah, so they actually only flew together one time. All right, the final landing spot. Yeah, that's quite a distance. 59 seconds versus the 12 and 14 seconds you had down there.
Whole minute.
Can you imagine how much those dudes were freaking out when they landed the plane down here after those first 3 tries?
I bet you are right. I read something, and I'm not 100% sure if it's true, but they say that they were standing around talking about the 5th flight they were planning, and a gust of wind blew their plane over and it damaged it, so they couldn't take any more.
Most people think that Kitty Hawk is the birthplace of flight, but technically it's here in Kill Devil Hills. They did flight experimentation in both places. They're a couple of miles apart. And the reason that they chose this entire area is because one of the early aviation experimenters suggested the Barrier Islands of North Carolina for a couple of reasons. One, because it's always so damn windy around here. And 2, the huge sand dunes in the area that obviously you can take flight off of and then land on and not absolutely demolish yourself.
So then they actually consulted with the National Weather Service and they pointed them around here. In case you didn't guess, the terrain looked a lot different back in 1903. Like, this used to be a massive sand dune. I would hate to have to bring the plane up that thing every time.
I bet those Wright brothers were in shape. Got massive calves. Okay. Yeah, they had to have been in good shape because I'm out of breath.
We're not even carrying a plane.
they for sure had a heck of a view up here. He's like, go, go, go! This is a recreation of the very first photograph. I don't think you have the balance it takes for flight, my love.
Maybe not.
All right, you did it, Wilbur. Good job. All in all, super interactive and educational, and I loved it.
Yeah, and last fun fact of the day, did you know that there was a piece of the original aircraft that was brought on the first moon landing by Neil Armstrong?
There you go, fun facts for days from Victoria. If we're anything, we're consistent. A productive activity followed up by a boozer reward.
And shout out to Hurricane Mose and Kitty Hawk for having my Aunt and Uncle here foothills.
Yeah, hazy 'em. We didn't order too much food at all.
You see how flat our tires are? But this is actually on purpose, because we're gonna go driving on the beach. We're at historic Corolla Park, where they actually require you to let some air out of your tires. They say 20 PSI for SUVs and half-ton vehicles, and 35 for 3/4 ton vehicles, which is what ours is. It may seem like a pain in the butt to have to deflate and inflate your tires, but they do have free stations that provide you with air.
We're not just driving on the beach just to drive on the beach.
No, I mean, that is a good enough reason all in itself, but we are on the hunt for one of the world's last populations of 100% purebred Spanish Mustangs. Now, they were thought to have been left here by explorers probably around the 1500s, and they've lived here for hundreds of years, and I think the last count there was still 100 of them.
So we're here at Corolla Beach on Currituck Island, which is the northernmost point of the Outer Banks that border Virginia. And it's pretty crazy, we just got out here, and the road completely ends at the beach, right? But there's houses in the direction that we're driving down the beach, and it looks like the only access they have is from the beach.
Yeah, it's like their driveway leads out to the beach.
That's pretty cool.
Permits are required to drive on the beach from, I believe, May through September. And
This is the beginning of March.
Yep, so we actually didn't have to have a permit, but they are about $50 for 1 week. But if you do rent a house out here, really, they provide them, so that's pretty cool.
But I imagine that renting one of these houses would cost you a pretty penny.
Oh, yes.
Now there is other beach driving areas throughout the Outer Banks and the Cape Hatteras National Seashore. However, year-round, those do require a permit. It's $50 for a 10-day pass, and I believe it's $120 for an annual pass. So we figured this is a much better option, plus they don't have horses down there.
That is a bit of a pain as far as driving on the beach in the Outer Banks. There are separate permits for separate cities and separate areas, so research it first and figure out how to get the best bang for your buck.
It's a good idea to gas up before you get out here, because there is no gas within the 4x4 driving area, and you might be driving for a hot minute to find some horses. And also, if you're within 50 feet of a car or a pedestrian, speed limit is 15 miles an hour.
But they do make that very clear, so it sounds like if you're not within 50 feet of any of those things,
pull out!
Yeah,
No,
just don't be completely stupid about it. Driving through these ruts that are in the sand, it makes me feel like I'm driving like one of those little arcade games where it jerks the wheel from under you.
Taking you for a ride?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it looks like the end of the line is in fact Virginia. There's a big old fence on the beach, and we've driven down as far as we possibly can, and guess what we haven't seen?
Wild horses.
Now, there are a few recommendations as the best time to find the wild horses, and Victoria's got those for you.
They say they're easier to find and more active in the spring and the summer.
They also say that the horses are more likely to be out in the mornings and evenings, not so much in the hotter part of the day, and unfortunately, it's about 1 o'clock. So, damn it. The sad part is I knew that coming out here, but just due to all the things that we're trying to get done and show you guys, that's just kind of the time that we ended up here. So I was hoping we might get lucky. I don't know, maybe we'll get lucky on the way back.
We'll see. They say you're less likely to see the horses right at the entrance where you drive in. So we drove all the way to the end and still no horses. It seems like when we actually go on the hunt for an animal, we never find it. North Carolina. Virginia? North Carolina. It seemed kind of sketchy just like climbing a rope to get into Virginia, but I just realized there's a gate right there, Thomas.
Once you hit the beach entrance, you got to keep it moving for the first 1.5 miles. You cannot park. But at a certain point, you'll start to see signs where it says like park in the middle of the beach, stuff like that. So, okay, well, I think that's a wrap on our wild horse finding fail.
Yeah, but don't let that discourage you from coming out here and looking for yourself.
Victoria's thoroughly enjoying herself out here, hitting them dunes hard.
That might be one of the coolest things I've ever done. There are 3 ways that you could go about going on the 4x4 beach here in Corolla. You could bring your own 4-wheel drive vehicle, like we did. You could take a guided tour where they'll bring you out here on a search for all the Mustangs. Or you can actually rent one of those 4-wheel drive vehicles as well. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for one of those guided tours because, I don't know, in the past it's kind of helped us find the cool things. I mean, you don't want to completely like poach their tour and try to get it for free. Right. But they can kind of help you get in the right direction.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Speaking of guided tours, there's one right there. I'm not a tracker, y'all, but these kinda look like horse tracks to me. This is the thing. I don't know if it's a horse track. It kind of looks like a dog print to me.
Yeah.
But there are no human tracks with, I don't know.
Some sort of larger animal though.
Yeah. Lighthouse finding mission in the Outer Banks continues.
Currituck Beach Lighthouse. It's the northernmost of all the Outer Bank lighthouses. This thing is 220 steps to the top, and during the summer season you can pay $12 and climb to the very top. However, unfortunately this is winter and this is the closest that we're gonna get, which I don't think I would have climbed it anyways.
It looks like this is the last lighthouse we're gonna get on this Outer Banks adventure.
Yeah, but 3 out of 5 of the major lighthouses isn't bad.
We'll try and get the other 2 next time we pop up in the Outer Banks. I know I for sure am one. Are you a donut fan?
This is the original Duck Donuts here in Duck, North Carolina. Now, if you haven't heard of them, they're just a gourmet donut company.
Fancy donuts.
Let me tell you, one is more than enough, but they are delicious.
Yes, unfortunately, they're also closed. They're open from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. and you know us, we're never on time for anything. Other than our enormous Duck Donut failure, the other reason that we wanted to come to the town of Duck is because it's known to be a very pedestrian and bike-friendly town, and we're actually here on the boardwalk, and it's a mile from end to end with shops and Duck Donuts, things like that along the way out. So
Also launches for kayaks and paddleboards.
there's their cute little town park.
Hello. Welcome, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
It's pretty cool. They got a little amphitheater up in the park too. How cool is that?
That's VIP seating right there.
Whoa, that is the literal definition of VIP right out there. I bet they charge top dollar for that, but
Probably.
whoever came up with that is super smart.
Oh, for sure.
What's up, dear man? Y'all eating good? Alright, hey bud. What's up, dude? Definitely a perk of the OBX Campground. Got the whole deer squad up in here.
Yeah, we might not have seen any Spanish Mustangs today, but at least we saw some deer.
That's right.
This is the closest you will ever get me to hang gliding.
Okay, well, you can definitely get lost in Kitty Hawk kites and like find anything you could possibly need in the world here.
Honestly, it is huge.
Well, I think we found the mother lode. There they are.
So all these outside of this room are single line kites. So these are ones you're just gonna throw up in the sky and they look pretty and you don't have to do anything else.
Right.
These ones in here you control, so you can play around with it a little bit.
Okay.
And those ones that I pointed out are called parafoils and they're gonna pull you.
All right, last chance. I mean, we could go to hang gliding school right now and you could learn.
I think I'm good on that for today. I think the one that I was talking about doing is this one, but I feel like we might be up here.
Slow moving in the stand.
No.
Today, we got outdoor adventure on our hands at North Carolina's most visited state park, which is Jockey Ridge State Park, and it's just north of the town of Nags Head. And the reason it's the most visited is because it's got the largest, tallest sand dunes in the East Coast.
Now, I don't know how they're gonna compare to the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado, where it's the largest sand dunes in the country, but I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, and we'll link that here for you if you want to check it out.
Already stopped across the street for all our supplies. Thank you, Kitty Hawk Kites. They gave us a great recommendation on a good starter kite that hopefully won't break on the first try.
Yeah, we'll see.
But first we're gonna do this little nature trail. It's only about 0.6 miles and it goes out to the sound. This is pretty big. I think maybe it's the largest spread out, maybe not the tall, I don't know. We'll have to check
they
that
have
out.
100-foot sand dunes out here. I'm pretty sure they're the tallest. I feel like we just entered a completely different place.
I know, it's crazy.
Really does kind of feel like a different planet out here. Wow.
Ah, there it is.
It's a little choppy out there today.
A little bit, I don't think we're pulling our paddleboards out.
My guy back over here brought out his golf club and one golf ball and just keeps whacking this thing around out here. It's good practice, I guess.
This might be a tricky proposition trying to put this together like while we're already in the wind. So I've been reading about this kite thing for about 5 minutes, so I am an expert
Absolutely.
now. So I think I'm ready to give it a shot.
All right, let's go. Oh, there it goes. Woo! Uh-oh, I might need to stay out of the way there. Oh!
It's got a lot of power behind that.
It sure does. Well, it's certainly a good thing that we bought the kite with no internal components. It's just basically like a balloon, so you can't hurt it. Well, it took you a couple of tries, but it looks like you got it now, huh?
I think so.
For a first time in a long time kite flyer, I'd say you got it. Do have a couple of people who were trying out the sledding today, and yeah, if the sand's wet, it might not be so good. They're struggling right now, even with the wax on their boards.
It's moving. Oh, there you go. Great.
I'm going down. I'm going down. Already. I'm going down.
I'm barely a darn to get the camera on. It's harder than it looks, isn't it?
Yeah, it got me like right away. It's hard to twist the nut.
It's aggressive.
Definitely not as easy as Victoria's making it out to look. Oh my god, it's attacking me. It's attacking me. Oh my god.
All right, here we go. Fly, be free. Nice. Good job, Victoria.
Oh my god. Oh, I just stopped, dropped, and rolled
Because Victoria almost just sliced me in half. Oh my god. You see my stop, drop, and roll marks?
That, my dear, was a fun kite sesh.
That was a lot of fun.
You are really good at that.
I'd say that was a pretty successful trip. The only thing I'm disappointed about is that I didn't see someone hang gliding.
I do think they might do that in a specific area of the park. We might not have been in it, but it would have been really cool to see.
And big shocker, Victoria was better at kite flying than I am. And that seems to be the theme of our channel whenever we do something like this.
By the way, Google helped us answer the question. It is the tallest sand dunes on the East Coast, the tallest being over 60 feet. It's pretty impressive.
I think we get it now as to why this is the most popular state park in North Carolina. Between all the fun activities, hang gliding, sledding, kite flying, hiking the trails, there are a ton of people out here enjoying it. We did fail to mention actually that it is dog friendly up in here as well.
Yeah, but I don't really know how our dogs would have handled being around that kite. I mean, they get scared when I shake a trash bag even, so.
Harley would have been freaking out. I'm not 100% sure why we always feel entitled to booze after outdoor activities, but
I feel like we earned it.
I kind of feel like it's the key to success. So shout out to Mulligan's on Nag's Head for the double shot marks.
Pretty good.
All right, morning y'all. So getting all wrapped up and packed up here on these Outer Banks adventures. Figure I should probably knock out a quick Project RV campground review. Boop. And I know that sounds weird when Victoria's not here doing it with me. OBX Campground, it is located in Kill Devil Hills, which borders Kitty Hawk. And the reason that we wanted to stay here again was because it's fairly close proximity to the Wright Brothers Memorial, which is just a couple miles away. We're paying $50 for this waterfront site here in the off season, which is March, but starting in April, this same site I believe is going to be $90. It is full hookups, 50 amp water, sewer, all that. We did say that we were going to get some laundry done here. I must have misread something. There is no laundry facility, but they do have a bathhouse and all that. Absolutely gorgeous campground. Not a whole lot of people here right now, and we've really enjoyed ourselves. We definitely hope we got you some good insight and info between boondocking down in the Cape Hatteras National Seashore, coming a little closer to civilization towards Kill Devil Hills and Kitty Hawk. But the truth is that this is just the northernmost barrier island of the Outer Banks on the North Carolina coast. There's more exploring to do in the Outer Banks, and hopefully we can get that planned and show you the rest of it here in the next few weeks. We'll see how it plays out. But I know Victoria's antsy to get home. She's got to work in the morning, so we will be catching you next Sunday.